Good morning. I want to tell you a quick story about how cloud-based services are helping us in the Seattle Police Department deal with very real-world problems. Policing is in a crisis. And those just aren't my words. It's the words of Commissioner Bratton in New York, Commissioner Ramsey, Philadelphia, and many other law enforcement leaders. Ferguson, New York, Baltimore, South Carolina. You've all seen the images. Race and how we engage and interact with the minority communities, especially the African American community, is at the heart of this crisis. Let me just back up for 1 second. Think about this. The basis of American policing dates back to 1829, when the first bobbies hit the streets of London. The ability of police to perform their duties is dependent upon public approval of police actions. We police by consent. If we lose public trust, which is strained right now in many communities, we lose the ideals of policing in a democratic society. But why now? Why are we in this crisis? What's changed? Of course, the why now is video. Video has brought to light very real problems we are facing in the field of policing. It's captured tragic images of us using lethal force badly. It's brought to light questions about our training, our policies and procedures, our crime strategies, and our street-level tactics. It's not like video is new. What, of course, is new is the ubiquity of smartphones. As you're well aware, the rapid adoption and penetration of smartphones has been incredible. In 2010, 20% of the US population had a smartphone. By the end of next year, over 2/3 of the population will have a smartphone. So nearly everybody, everywhere, has a way to capture images and upload it to the internet almost instantaneously. But video can also be part of the solution. Enter body-worn cameras. Body cameras are spreading across the law enforcement field quicker than any other technology in recent memory. And we know that body cameras produce positive outcomes. We know from the research, which continues to pile up, that when officers wear body-worn cameras, something changes. Whether it's the behavior of the officer, the behavior of the citizen, or both, something changes. So as this technology is spreading across the law enforcement field, there's been a lot of focus on some very basic questions, such as, under which circumstances does an officer turn on, or off the camera? Some of these questions will be answered by technology itself, through longer battery life, auto activation, cheaper storage options, something AWS knows about. But the real question is, what do you do with all the video? And I don't mean how do you store it. Right now at the Seattle Police Department, we are sitting on 365 terabytes of video data. That's about 2 million videos. But we only know what's on a very small percentage of those videos. It only comes to light if there's a citizen complaint, a use of force incident, criminal investigation, civil litigation. But as we collect more and more video and as body cameras spread throughout the country, the public's going to expect that we're doing a lot more with our video data than simply storing it. What we have been wrestling with, and other progressive departments across the country have been wrestling with, is how do you provide public access to police videos? How do you provide public access to police videos to promote transparency and accountability, while at the same time respecting the privacy rights of citizens? How can we use our video data in very real ways to increase accountability, with the ultimate outcome of improving policing? For example, how can we run analytics to spot problematic officer behavior, to head it off before it reaches critical level? Or how do we use our video data to identify good tactics, patterns of dealing with individuals in crisis, patterns of de-escalating situations? How do we identify those good tactics and use it in better training? So this is all very new. Industry has not caught up with us yet. For example, providing public access means you have to be able to redact video. No one has come up with an automated tool for video redaction. It's still a very manual process. So at the Seattle Police Department, we've gone down a somewhat unconventional path. Going down this path in an attempt to solve some of these problems while industry and technology catches up with us. We're not waiting on others to solve it for us. We're not waiting on state legislators to change public disclosure laws. AWS has been a partner with us as we've gone down this unconventional path. So here's an example, quickly, of how we've used cloud-based services going down this unconventional path and how it's become an integral part of our ongoing reform efforts at the Seattle Police Department. Last October, we engaged one of our most prolific FOIA requesters. This guy had requested all 360 plus terabytes of our video data, which meant we had to redact or go through and redact all 360 plus terabytes of our video data. What he did, the metaphor we've used, is like creating a DDoS attack. It literally was going to seize up our process, our system for redacting video. Folks inside the department could not understand how to even start thinking about the redaction process for 360 terabytes of video. So what do? We engaged him. Right? We engaged him. And we engaged him, by the way, on Twitter, right? On social media. What else would we do in Seattle? Right? Said to him, hey, come help us solve this problem. And he did. Turns out he's a gifted self-taught programmer. Fast forward a month or two later, we hosted a hackathon to engage other local tech talent. We figured if this kid was so gifted, there were others out there in the community that would help us as well. AWS was there at the hackathon providing technical input. All attending were proposing cloud-based solutions. We took code from that hackathon, refined it, started running our body cam videos through it to over-redact the images, and we started our own YouTube channel. Once we over-redacted everything, we didn't know what to do next. So we said, well, what does everybody else do with their videos? So we uploaded it to YouTube. All this was in an attempt to rebuild public trust. Rebuild public trust through transparency. All this to help us return to the ideal that to perform our duties, we need public approval for our actions. The code was not perfect. We knew that when we put it out there. But we put it out there to see what would happen. We uploaded it to GitHub. People helped us improve the code. And we've iterated from there. We've used AWS computing power to help us during this entire process. I remember the very first batch of video we tried to run through this new redaction or over-redaction code. For a few bucks, we processed 2,400 videos in 3 hours in one machine, on one machine. Now, the few bucks is a slight exaggeration, but it's not that far off. We didn't go through the normal contracting procedure, by the way. I think we put the charge on one of our guys' personal credit card. Now we're working to automate the entire process. Officers come in, dock the camera, shoot it to storage, auto over redact, post it to an online portal. Take the humans out of the process. So let me end by telling you 2 takeaways that we learned from this process that started back in October. And this is something we've become evangelical about, spreading this gospel to other police departments. Most recently, it's Tuesday, when we had departments around the country in Seattle to talk about what we were doing. We tell them two things. One, engage local tech talent. Programmers and engineers and developers are out there, and they will help you. When we had the hackathon, it was a scene straight out of Central Casting. You had your programmers, it was in the basement of the Seattle Police Department headquarters. You had your programmers who, I don't like to profile, that's illegal in the police world, but they look like programmers. We had people in the audience, in the headquarters downstairs, who had sued us because we didn't release data they had requested under our public disclosure laws. They joined in because they wanted to help us solve this problem. And we had in our basement that day people I know that I'd seen out on the protest lines during the Black Lives Matter protest. But the point is, they possessed an expertise that we didn't have within the police department. So we tell other departments, engage local tech talent. They will help you solve some of your most pressing problems. Lastly, number two, and this goes with number one because we really have to define it for some of our police colleagues, lightweight hacks work. Lightweight hacks work. For too long in policing, departments have been sold multi-million-dollar proprietary systems by contractors. This has to end, or the field will continue to be hamstrung by technology and their data systems. Lightweight hacks are going to be needed to help police solve many of their most pressing problems. Lightweight hacks are what's helping us solve the problem and the dilemma that we're facing now. The stakes are high in policing. Right? Literally, we are talking about life and death. So we have to get it right, and we have to start being more agile if we want to get the police profession out of this crisis. Thank you.